Have you ever met someone for the first time and felt like you've known them forever? Or stepped into a foreign place, another country, another city, a centuries old building, and felt an odd, almost haunting sense of belonging? What if those experiences weren't just coincidences? What if they were echoes from a life you've already lived? Today, we're diving into a story that challenges everything we think we know about memory, time, and identity. This is not just a tale of dreams and déjà vu. It's a journey of spiritual awakening based on teachings that have existed for thousands of years. This is the story of Mira, a young woman whose search for meaning led her to rediscover herself across lifetimes. And by the end of this video, you may start asking yourself, who was I before I became me? In every culture, in every corner of the world, there have been stories of rebirth, of souls returning, not as ghosts or legends, but as real people living new lives, shaped by choices from the past. In Buddhism, this is known as samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. But for most of us in the modern world, this idea feels far away, even mystical, until something cracks open. For Mira, it started with a painting. She was an artist, quiet, observant, a little lost. Like so many of us, she was struggling to find her place in a noisy world full of expectations. One evening, at a local gallery, she came across a painting that stopped her in her tracks. It wasn't just beautiful, it felt like a mirror into another time. A woman stood on a balcony, gazing out at a distant horizon. Her eyes held secrets, her posture carried a story. Mira stared, and something stirred in her chest, a recognition, deep and ancient. That night, she couldn't sleep. You see, it's easy to dismiss a feeling like that. We all experience strange dreams or fleeting emotions we can't explain, but what if they mean something? In Buddhist thought, there's a concept called Puba Nivasa Nusati Nyamonna, the ability to recall past lives. It's not magic, and it's not superstition. It's memory buried deep in the layers of consciousness, and some believe it's available to all of us if we're willing to listen. Mira didn't know it yet, but that painting was a door, and once it opened, her life would never be the same. She started dreaming, not the ordinary kind, the ones that evaporate by morning. These were different. She would wake up breathless, weeping, or filled with joy she couldn't place. She saw herself in silk robes, walking through palaces and marketplaces she'd never visited. She heard foreign languages, but understood every word. And the emotions? They were so real. They left imprints on her waking life. At first, she thought she was losing her grip. But then, like many seekers before her, she found guidance in the unlikeliest of places. A Buddhist lecture in a community center across town. The monk wasn't dramatic. He didn't claim miracles, he simply spoke of the mind, how it stores impressions, how suffering can be carried across lifetimes, how love and regret never truly vanish. Mira sat in silence, but something inside her roared. She asked the monk afterward, "How do I know if my dreams are real?" He smiled gently and said, "Ask your heart, not your mind. Memory of the soul doesn't speak in facts. It speaks in recognition." So, Mira started a new practice: meditation, dream journaling, quiet walks in nature, silence, not to escape, but to listen, to remember. And as she dug deeper, the dreams sharpened into visions, faces returned, a lover's smile, a friend's betrayal, a family she had once called her own. The memories weren't just pictures, they were lessons. Some filled her with peace, others brought tears, but each one led her closer to the person she was always meant to become. And then came the synchronicities. A stranger at a bookstore recommended the same text the monk had mentioned. A friend confessed to having eerily similar dreams of past civilizations. And one day, while viewing another exhibit on reincarnation, Mira locked eyes with a man she'd never seen before, yet felt she'd always known. His name was Arjun. They spoke, and something clicked. Not attraction, not coincidence, something deeper, something familiar. As their friendship blossomed, Mira began to suspect what the dreams had been hinting at all along, that some souls are bound together across lifetimes, not by fate, but by love that refuses to die. But here's the most powerful part of Myra's story. She didn't get trapped in the past. She didn't use her memories to escape her present. Instead, she used them to understand it. Her art transformed. Her relationships deepened. Her fears made sense. Her patterns became clear. The puzzle of her life stopped being chaotic and started becoming coherent. By remembering who she had been, she finally began to embrace who she was. As Leo's journey progressed, he faced a critical challenge: the detachment from his identity tied to his career and design. Moments of fear arose as he questioned, who am I without this job and these achievements? But he realized that his worth was innate, beyond accolades and titles. One night, while contemplating life's uncertainties, he recalled an image from his meditation. A storm was brewing in his mind, but he recognized he was merely the vast sky, untouched by the thunder. This intuition illuminated a deeper truth. His identity could transform, but he remained whole. Releasing the need to define himself by achievements allowed him to experience freedom. He began embracing each project not as a necessity for validation, but as a chance to express himself authentically. This shift in perspective redefined his creative endeavors, transforming them into joyful explorations. Leo found himself facing emotional pain, the realization that life doesn't always meet our expectations. His mind moved to resist discomfort, clasping tightly to past ambitions and relationships. Through meditation, he learned that acceptance is not passive. It's an active engagement with reality. One day, during his practice, he finally faced his own hurt. Instead of viewing it as an enemy, he sat with it, recalling a time when he gripped tightly to what slipped away. I am hurt, and that's okay, he told himself. In that moment, acceptance became his ally, transforming pain into a lesson. He sought comfort not in burying his grief, but in acknowledging it as part of his journey. Leo began recognizing the strength within vulnerability, fostering deeper connections with those around him. As Leo delved deeper into Buddhist teachings, he learned about impermanence. Traditionally tied to loss, he adopted a new perspective. Instead of viewing change as an adversary, he began to see it as a natural flow of life. The more he linked his sense of control to relationships and professional milestones, the greater the sense of panic when things shifted. One evening, during a quiet reflection, he let go of the tight grip he had around an old relationship, realizing that what once brought happiness had now turned stagnant. The fear of losing that relationship morphed into profound gratitude for what it had taught him. Suddenly, Leo understood that every moment was a gift, beautifully ephemeral. By accepting change, he felt liberated, allowing life to unfold on its own terms. With months of practice in surrender, presence, and acceptance, Leo arrived at stillness. It became a refuge, a sanctuary, where the answers to life began to reveal themselves. Determined to share this wisdom, Leo turned to his creative outlets. He began designing a project themed around letting go and acceptance, intertwining narratives of resilience and healing. Each stroke became a reflection of his journey, inviting others to find peace in surrender. As he wrapped up the project, he realized he had stopped chasing perfection. Instead, the design flowed from him, unforced and natural. This genuine expression became not just a piece of art, but a mantra that resonated with a deeper understanding of life. Leo's journey taught him that peace doesn't lie ahead. It resides within, waiting to be discovered. Surrender is not weakness. It's an invitation to embrace life as it is. Through his reflections and newfound awareness, he learned that true fulfillment arises when we release our tight grip on outcomes and liberate ourselves from societal expectations. As he shared his story in art, Leo inspired others to uncover their hidden peace. Each person in his circle began their own journey of letting go, reminding them that life isn't about chasing what we think we need, but recognizing what is already present. In the stillness, Leo found freedom and authenticity, inviting others to do the same, a path where the chase ends and life in all its chaos and beauty begins. Mira had always felt slightly out of place, as though she belonged to a world she hadn't yet discovered. At 28, she was a freelance artist, pouring her heart onto canvas while battling doubt about her path. The pressure to excel in her career loomed over her, but she often found more exhilaration in exploring the murky waters of her dreams, a swirling tapestry of vivid imagery and emotions that left her restless yet curious. During a visit to a local art exhibit, Mira felt a pull towards a painting that seemed oddly familiar. As she stood in front of it, a wave of emotion washed over her, a flash of a memory that felt both foreign and undeniably hers. This piece portrayed a young woman dressed in traditional clothing, staring out from a balcony toward a vibrant, centuries-old landscape. "Who are you?" Mira whispered, transfixed. The artist's name escaped her, but that didn't matter. It was the feeling that lingered. In the weeks following, she couldn't shake the sense that her life was connected to something broader, something echoing through time and space. Chapter 2. The seed of curiosity days turned into weeks, as Mira pondered her experience. She often turned to her sketchbook, attempting to capture the essence of the woman in the painting, but instead of merely drafting a design, she found herself pouring out emotions she didn't quite understand. Her once muted palette transformed into a kaleidoscope of colors, filled with longing and nostalgia. Curiosity gnawed at her heart. One day, she stumbled upon a lecture by a local Buddhist monk, discussing the concept of past lives in samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The monk spoke of consciousness, how it doesn't vanish upon death, but carries over into new existences, imprinting lessons from the past. What if her feelings of familiarity were more than mere imagination? Mira's interest turned into fascination as the monk explained that experiments conducted by researchers had recorded children recalling specific details from their previous lives. Documentaries of children recalling past life experiences flashed through her mind, and she wondered, could this be true for her too? Chapter 3. The First Sign. After the lecture, Mirsha felt compelled to approach the monk. "How do I know if I've lived before?" she asked, her voice trembling with excitement and uncertainty. He smiled warmly. "There are signs," he replied. "Phobias without reason, dreams of other lives, and deep connections with people or places you've never experienced before. Trust your intuition and remain open to exploring these echoes." That night, Mira lay in bed, contemplating her connection to the painting and the woman within it. Deciding to explore further, she began a nightly ritual of journaling her dreams. The first weeks yielded little more than fragments of everyday life, but slowly, images began to surface, fleeting visions of landscapes that felt both familiar and strange. One night, she dreamt vividly of a bustling market in a distant land. Spices filled the air, and she could hear the laughter of children playing nearby. When she awoke, the scents lingered, and she hurriedly jotted down details before they evaporated. This was different. It felt vital. Chapter 4. Dreaming of the Past. The more she recorded these dreams, the more they became vivid theaters of past experiences. In some dreams, she wore flowing garments of silk and roamed ancient streets. In others, she saw flashes of conflicts and resolved struggles played out against the backdrop of different eras and cultures. One dream struck her profoundly, portraying the very woman from the painting she had admired weeks before. The dream unfolded like a story, illustrating her life as a noble woman in a distant land, navigating the complexities of love and duty amid political upheaval. When dawn arrived, Mira awoke with tears streaking her cheeks. Her heart ached for a world that felt both exquisite and sorrowful. She knew she had to understand more. Inspired, Mira returned to the monk's teachings, where he explained the process called Pubenivasanusati Jnana, or the knowledge of remembering past lives. Intrigued and eager, she approached him after another lecture. "Can I learn this?" she asked. "Of course," he replied, his kindness evident. "With dedication, you can access memories buried within your consciousness." Chapter 5: The Journey Inward. Under the monk's guidance, Mira began meditation practices. Each session grew deeper. She learned to calm her mind, allowing the layers of her life experiences to unearth themselves. As she acknowledged her thoughts, images and feelings began inducing clarity. One afternoon, while meditating, she focused on the images surrounding the noble woman. "When have I experienced this before?" she silently asked herself. She felt emotions rise, joy intertwined with heartache, history swirling around her like autumn leaves in a brisk wind. Gradually, visions began to emerge that felt more vivid than mere dreams. She saw herself in a palace, adorned in lavish garments, while whispers of court intrigue enveloped her. The faces of those she loved flickered past. Many felt familiar, yet just out of reach. In one powerful moment, she came face to face with her younger self, the noble woman from her dreams. The two locked eyes, and Mira felt a jolt of recognition. She could see the strength, the love, the burdens that transcended time. Chapter 6: The Puzzle of Recognition. Days turned into months as the boundaries of her consciousness began to dissolve further. Mira started to unveil not only the emotions of her past, but the motives that governed her present life. She discovered profound realizations about her fears and desires, all reflections of choices made in former lives. During this exploration, she noticed patterns within her relationships. A long-lost friend from college, Rebecca, emerged in her visions. Each time they met, there was an instant connection, a bond that felt ancient and timeless. One evening, while sipping tea together, Mira discovered Rebecca also had a shared fascination with her own past lives. "Mira, you won't believe this," she said excitedly, opening up about her own vivid dreams and inexplicable connections. "Sometimes I feel like I've experienced everything all at once." With mutual encouragement, they delved deeper into their exploration of past life memories. Together, they created art, expressing colorful scenes from their dreams, celebrating their shared journey through time. Chapter 7: The Meeting of Souls. As their exploration unfolded, one fateful day, Mira noticed an exhibition themed around reincarnation. Among the artworks, she found a piece reflecting her vision of a noble woman, her past self. She stood in awe, emotions bubbling within. Then, to her surprise, she saw someone standing near the artwork, a man who radiated comfort and familiarity. It was as if they had met before. As their eyes locked, they exchanged smiles that seemed to span lifetimes. "Do I know you?" Mira posed, curious and captivated. "I think we've met before," he replied softly, his voice enveloping her in warmth. "In another life, perhaps?" Intrigued, they began to converse, discovering shared interests in languages, cultures, and art. His name was Arjun. They exchanged stories, discussing their dreams and their experiences with meditation. What began as a simple introduction captivated their souls, feeling drawn to each other as if they were reuniting with a long-lost companion. Chapter 8: The Revealing Connection. Throughout the weeks that followed, Mira and Arjun grew closer. further exploring the boundaries of their identities. One evening, as they walked through the city, Mira shared her meditative experiences connected to past lives. I often dream of the woman who lived in the palace, she confessed hesitantly. There's something breathtaking yet painful about her life that I can't quite grasp. What if she's not just a reflection? Arjun mused, deeply engaged. Perhaps she's guiding you to understand why you're drawn to art, to beauty, and to connection. Encouraged, Mira was inspired to meditate that evening, focusing on her noble self, seeking closure or deeper understanding. The visions unfolded seamlessly. She felt strong emotions as she faced sorrows from past decisions, connections lost, love unfulfilled. In an unexpected revelation, she saw a glimpse of Arjun within her past, a strapping figure who offered life, yet was bound by fate and societal pressures to part ways. The pain of unresolved connection washed over her as she recognized their significance. Chapter 9: The Cycle of Recognition. Reflecting upon their past, Mira realized profound wisdom lay interwoven within their souls. She sensed that their reunion was not simply coincidental, rather, it was a meeting meant to energize their current paths towards understanding love's complexities and accepting the imprints of history. They say love echoes through lifetimes, Mira shared with Arjun. Perhaps our rekindled friendship is a reminder that love never truly disappears, but transforms instead. Her words resonated as Arjun's eyes glimmered with understanding. And perhaps it brings clarity to carry the past without losing ourselves in it. As they explored the city, each experience revealed new layers: art galleries, community events, shared laughter, and deep conversations that transcended typical connections. They began aiding each other's creative journeys, blending their visions into collective masterpieces. Chapter 10: A Transcendent Awakening. Mira embraced her past while realizing that the present held vital gifts, the chance to live authentically, to forge meaningful connections, and express her creativity. With Arjun by her side, she dared to move toward her dreams without shackling herself to the past. Their shared art inspired a community, encouraging others to explore their connections and embrace memories that shape their current lives. Through workshops, they engaged others in dialogues about reincarnation, consciousness, and shared experiences of life. Mira learned her echoing past was not a shackle, but a stepping stone, allowing her to create art that resonated deeply. In turn, she empowered others to unearth their own echoes, igniting a ripple effect beyond her reach. Through her persistent exploration of past lives, Mira unlocked fragments of who she had been, discovering the interconnectedness of her journey through time. Each memory, each past life filled with rituals and sorrows, informed her present and guided her future. In the embrace of connection and creation, Mira formed a sanctuary where others felt safe to explore their own paths. As layers peeled back from her consciousness, she understood that love transcends time. Every experience, no matter how fleeting, is a brush stroke on the canvas of existence. Now, as she stands before a new blank canvas, Mira no longer fears who she used to be. Instead, she embraces her soul's journey and the path of compassion it has taught her, a reminder that life is an eternal dance through time where past and present meld together to create the masterpiece of the human experience.